Hello, students. Welcome to week 4. I'm so excited that we are just really on our way to getting into designing now the website and what we think is going to work based on all the research. So, putting everything that we've done in the past 3 weeks to use, and not only just what you've discovered with the work, but also what you've learned in Adobe XD. This week, we're going to go over wireframing and creating a mood board slash stylescape. I think most of you probably know what the Stylescape mood board type thing is, but just in case you don't, it's one way that designers begin the creative part of the process to gather and collect visual samples that relate to the visual feeling or brand image for a specific product. These visual samples can come from anywhere, like Pinterest or Google Images or wherever, but you want to make sure that you really capture what the essence of the style is. So this does not mean whatever you gather this is exactly what the website is. This is just the tone of the website, so this can help you you look at it the entire time, and you use it as a guide to help build out your site. So you want to think about your imagery, your color, any textures you want. Typography is very important. You want to make sure you have a header font, a subheader font, and body copy, which is the text that's below the subhead of any kind of copy that's descriptive. You just want to have all of those things worked out, because what you'll just discover is that as you wireframe and you have this mood board, the website will almost build itself, and then you just got to focus on interactions. Remember, keeping interactions no more than 7 per page or decision, because after that, research shows that it's just too hard for people to make decisions. So keep those things in mind, but this is the fun part. You should really love having doing this part. Sometimes I do several mood boards until I get to the one that I really like, but on the next slide I'm going to show you where I landed on for this mood board example. Okay, so here is another example of, or not say another, the first example that I'm showing you of what the Stylescape mood board is. I just went online, I found a color palette that I really liked, I found an image that I really liked, I found some typography that I really liked, and I put this all together on this page. Now, those photos are not meant to be the actual photos that I'm using in the site, but more of a clear understanding of the color palette or the stylistic choice in the photos that I want to use. I like the yellows and the oranges working together along with those deep kind of grayish colors and how those play together. So that's really what you're trying to build here, is an inspirational piece. And it almost creates like a metaphor, which is a thing regarded as a representative of something else. When designing interactive web pages, it's easy to forget that there are things like buttons and tabs and different things, but all of those things should have a consistent look. And to keep consistency, I like having this style guide or stylescape. I often put this within my website. I'm going to show you in the next video exactly how that works, but let me know if you have any questions. Hey students, okay, so I figured I would just show you exactly what it is I want you to know in order to set up the document for this week. So you want to open up XD, and the first thing you want to do is create a new file. I'm going to go here to web 1920 by 1080. Now, if you don't see that there as one of your options, you can always put in the custom size 1920 by 1080, but most of the time you're going to be able to just click this. So here we are. Now, this first board right here is what I'm going to call the stylescape or the mood board, which is going to set the tone for everything. So I'm going to label it stylescape slash mood board. Mood board. And that just gives you a way to visualize your whole site. So I like to keep this within the whole website because I want to be able to quickly pull all the items I need, and I'm going to show you the best way to do that. So I have this one in the back here that I'm just going to pull up if I can find it. Here it is, where I've created a bunch of stylescapes here. I like this one, so I'm just going to copy and I'm going to paste it into my new board here. because I had done it in a different file, and I want them all together, and I'll show you why. So one thing that we haven't probably worked in that much, but you will in the future, is libraries. And where they come into play is keeping yourself organized, and using the same colors and font choices will really help you go so much further quicker. So right here, I've got this color circle selected, and I'm going to go over here to where the libraries are. If you don't see that on yours and you're looking for it, you would just go to this bottom left here where you see the little book with the bookmark. So right under colors, I'm just going to hit the color plus, and it's pulling both the border and the color fill, which is fine in this case. I'm going to select this one, and all you do is hit the plus sign. It's very easy and helps you become consistent overall in your design. So boom, there are all those colors and all those marks and the H numbers that you're going to need for the website developer stage. When the developers get this, they'll be able to say, okay, this is color, and you've got the exact thing there. Now for headers, because you want a header font, a subhead, and you want some body copy. So here I'm just under character styles. I'm just going to click that for the header. For the subhead, I'm going to click that again, and it's going to automatically pick up everything I need for that font. So now very easily, I have all the different types of pieces. Now these right here, these little illustrations and how the type is and stuff, this is just an aspirational idea. I'm not sure that I'm going to use these um, in the actual website. I'm just liking the colors that I see, or the style of photography, and I want to have that in my website so that I can remain consistent throughout. And this really helps with a quick piece there for you to create. So the next thing I want to do is I need another artboard. So you could come over here and then click on the artboard icon, and then just come here and find the web 1920 by 1080. And then this is going to be, hold on, I did one too many. And this is going to be the first page. So I'm just going to label this home page, because I like to keep things labeled and organized. And this is really where you're going to take a look at your wireframes that you've drawn, and this is where you're going to start just making things pull down the page that you want, and then you're going to start just using whatever you've drawn as a guide. Let's see, I'm going to put this here, and now you can quickly access all of your items. The next thing I want you to do while you're on the home page is come down here to layout, and I want you to check this. Now, 12 columns I think is fine. For the margin, I like a little bit more than 140, but you could do 140. You just want to make sure that all you're pertaining, just like a bleed, would stay within all the blue columns. You do not want to go outside of that. In your research, you should have seen over and over again that not too many websites go edge to edge. A lot of them are, you see that there's a border on both sides. Check out Dunkin' Donuts, check out Starbucks, check out Coca-Cola, check out Target, check out Walmart. Make sure that you noticed the architecture, much like when I said with your magazine projects. Now that you know about bleed and live area and trim, that you would go out and now see that in real life by picking up a magazine and seeing that nobody goes edge to edge. So you don't want your fonts to go edge to edge. You can have images go over, but you don't want any pertinent information to go over. So I'm going to just change this to 300 because that I think is a nice I like the way that this space here is pleasing to me. The other thing is you can experiment with the columns. You don't have to do 12 columns. You could choose to do 3 columns. You could choose to do 2 columns or 1 column. For that matter, it doesn't matter how many columns you have there, unless you want to really start structurally organizing your work into vertical columns. So, and then you can choose to turn that on and off so that you can always know exactly where your layout is. But that's just a little bit about this grid here in Adobe XD. And now you can start laying things out. Make sure you have there are certain things in your research should have shown you that every website has some sort of margin on it. Every website has a header with navigation. Every website has a footer with a bunch of things on it. If you haven't seen that, then go back and look at some someone websites that I've talked about, like Dunkin' Donuts and like Starbucks and Target and Coca-Cola and some of the major brands that you're very familiar with, and see how they use their spacing. You should have also picked up on the pixel sizes and font sizes. That was last week's exercise, or the week before that, rather. And that's one of the things I wanted you to see. A lot of students missed that last year, and I wanted to make sure that I reiterated why I did what I did with you, is because I'm trying to get you to see every single part of how you build a website. So I fully want you to take a lot of time figuring out what your mood is going to be, what your colors, what your fonts, any textures, illustrations, your color profile on your photography. All of that stuff I want to be very, very well thought out, and I want it to be in XD, just like you see here. And I also want to see where you are in your wireframing. Now, you don't have to have every single thing put together in your first draft of this wireframe. I just want to see that you've got your mood board or stylescape set, and that you are now working on the layout, and you don't have to have all the pieces to that layout. It can just be simply laying out squares and rectangles and adding example imagery, but not the final stuff in there. I just want to see you are working in this and that you are executing the website the way you want. Now, one quick thing I'll point out, see this blue line right here? That's the fold, or what we call the fold. So a lot of print terminology coming into the website. What that means is if you were to go view this, and I'll hit play right here, everything underneath that is going to be below where you would scroll down. So it's really where the scroll mark is, so that you can see how that's going to look. And you can adjust that up or down however you want that to be. I like leaving it right at the 1920 mark, or not 1920, am I talking 1080 mark? But that's up to you and how you want to have your website viewed when you are in presentation mode. So those are just a couple things that I wanted to make sure that I went over with you. They're very, very important things. Get into this. This should be something exciting and fun. Don't worry if you don't finish a lot of your wireframing. As long as you have a great Stylescape mood board, that's wonderful for this week's goal. All right, I hope that helps, and let me know if you need anything else.